Meeting. I did say welcome, and I'm saying it again. The first order of business is to silence your cell phones. Next, roll call.
Betsy Brunstetter.
Present.
Gigi Faulkner. Charles Ainsworth.
Present.
Ike Aiken-Wande.
Present.
Connie Scothorn.
Present.
Richard Tannenbaum.
Present.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Now, hoping that all of you have had a chance to review the minutes, can I get a motion?
Move to approve.
Okay, that's on the other side of the room. Dick and Ike, all in favor? Any opposed? The minutes are approved. We have no cases to be withdrawn, no continuance request. We have one case on the consent docket. Does anybody have any reason why this should be pulled off the consent docket? And if not, can you give me a motion?
Move to approve.
Okay. Do we have a second? Okay. That was a Dick and Ike motion. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Now, cases for individual consideration. Would the applicant come forward, identify yourself, and write your name on the little piece of paper in front of you.
Good morning. I'm J.C. Witcher with ADG Architects here in Oklahoma City. For this item concerning our gates and landscaping for lift apartments.
And I will be recusing myself for this item, but Chuck will be taking care of it for me.
Doing just fine, JC. Keep going.
Okay. All right. From the packet, if I could just take your attention to the gates, and I believe that is the first sheet you come to. This represents the design for our gates generally, and to reference it on plan, if we could, there's a PDF file that's called 50% CDs, and that might be an easy way for everyone to see that. I understand that the print that you have, the size of the site plan that you're seeing may be a little small, so the gates are basically where you see breezeways and accesses into the building. That's where the gates are located, and if you need for me to point those out in any more detail, I'll be happy to go take the mouse over there. So that's good, and I'll do some point. I guess I can project well enough that I can project well enough that it's probably not need for me to be at the left.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, can I take this over there? Oh, good. All right. So, thanks. Here is a location for a gate. These will vary somewhat in a couple of locations. They will vary because of the width of the fence that accompanies the gate. But generally speaking, in this location that I'm highlighting with the cursor, this location, over here, here, and here, all those are represented by the photo or the drawing that you have in front of you. What will vary in these other locations is the width of the fence that is adjacent to the gate, that's next to the gate. So are there any questions about the gate and the balcony rails above?
If you want to see what the actual gates look like, it's page 2 of 7 in your packet, or their number Z5.03. There's an enlarged version there. Page 2 of 7, or their page number Z5.03, should be the first 11 by 17 in your packet.
I'm a little slow, J.C. Are these both pedestrian and vehicle,
No, sir.
all vehicle?
No, sir, there is one where we could bring a small vehicle in, like a golf cart type vehicle or a small tractor, and that would be, if you can look at your monitor, in this location, Chuck, we've got just for accessing the, and then, I'm sorry, two, and then this one will be wide enough where we can get in for small, it's for landscape maintenance, a small tractor with a pull-behind cart. And frankly, it's also, if we ever have to, in this location, off of 10th Street, that's kind of the main location for electrical service to come in. And if we ever have to do anything with the electrical utility at that location, we'll have the width to get in there. The rest of them are all pedestrian.
And so how wide are the ones that are wide enough to get a vehicle in?
Up at the north side, the clear is 15 feet. Down here, it's 12 feet.
And at those locations, is there also a man gate, or is it just one really big 15-foot wide gate?
At the location here, it's a man gate with a big leaf that is wider so that we can get something that's about 6 foot wide through there. So the idea is that day in and day out, it's a man gate, but it has a leaf that could be opened up. Down here, it's a man gate, and if we have to get in there sometime, we will remove the gate and fence down in this location. All right, so we move on. Do I get to neat? So I will move on to the landscape drawings and make sure that what I'm referencing is the same thing that you're getting to look at. So the third sheet of paper in your packet. Good, it corresponds with what I've got up on the screen, so I think we're in business here. What do you guys want to know about the landscape? How can I, or should I walk around the building and describe the landscape first?
Well, I've already,
Sure. Okay, so what do you want to tell me about my landscape?
Well, I hate to criticize people's landscape that I haven't met the client.
Okay.
And I also have issues with our landscape ordinance, and I talked just a little bit with Scotty about it, and if this is an opportunity for us to break in and say, let's make some changes, I would love to be a part of that. Mm-hmm. But if you want these trees to survive any length of time, I think you should consider making some changes in those species.
In the species. Okay, which ones do you have concerns about?
Well, and it's not that the trees are bad, it's the, it's the fact that caddo maple, for instance, is a rocky, sandy soil, dry tree.
Okay.
Probably wouldn't do well with irrigation. A live oak is a tree that needs a whole lot of room. And I know why that tree was put on the street tree list, because there was a street tree that was...
I'm sorry, Connie, the live oak needs...
Lots of room.
Lots of room, okay.
It doesn't do well in little bitty tiny...
Sure. Chuck, the live oak or the...
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
terrible. I got a different plan. That's why.
The high-rise live oak, technically, are along 10th Street, and if you're able to look on the monitor, they are those guys. And
How big would those be when you plant?
when you plant them, 6-inch caliper, is that right? Let me...
I think it was a 3-inch.
Oh,
Maybe I should...
okay, I got my mic turned on.
Oh,
Let's get to,
Typically, what size trees do you plant, if I could ask Mike?
I believe that the intention is, I want to just confirm it, I believe the intention is to plant 6-inch caliper trees, and in those, in these species, I may not be totally knowledgeable, 3-inch caliper. I'm guessing that 3-inch caliper, when you plant it, is going to be 12 to 15 in a live oak. Is that fair? Okay. So, yay big around, 12 to 15 feet tall when they're planted. Ultimately, the high-rise live oak is 60 feet, topping out about 60 feet at maturity.
Probably not in Oklahoma,
Okay.
but 50, 40 feet anyway.
Okay. Maybe we can go ahead and
And
as,
honestly, my problem wasn't the size, the problem is it probably won't survive.
Okay.
And as well as the purple leaf plum, and there's another one. But I just think these are all listed, like Scotty said, they all meet code.
right?
And and I have worked with people that don't want big trees in front of their building. If that's your goal, you're right on.
No, it's not, the idea is not to plant something that dies. We would like to continue the mood, I guess you could say, that's established on Chartel from 13th up to 18th. I think that would kind of, to be able to draw some of that down to 10th Street would be the idea, at least along Chartel and Francis. And then we're looking for some amount of screening and texture along 11th Street with the purple leaf plum and the hollies. Along 10th Street, we don't want to cover up the building, but the ginkgos at the corner, we are intending on those being a little bit shorter so that the branding, if you will, that the building gives us isn't totally hidden. So conceptually, that's where we're going with the tree plan.
And I think it's great. I think there's been a lot of time put into this landscape plan. I mean, I did actually get a copy that I could read,
Okay.
because this is really hard to read. And the ginkgo trees are going to survive fine. They're probably my favorite of all the
Okay.
ones that you picked. I would recommend that you look at the successful trees that are living along 10th,
Okay.
and maybe look at copying and extending it that way, because I think you might have some problems with the ones that you've selected.
Okay, and the ones, in your experience, the caddos, the live oaks, and the purple leaf plums are the ones that,
And the seedless,
the sweet gum?
fruitless sweet gum also,
Okay.
but, on the other hand, I moved to approve the landscape plan. I mean, I know that I have to say more words than that.
We have a motion. Is there any discussion? Anyone in the audience that would like to speak to this?
Connie, does that also include the fencing and the gates?
Yes.
All in favor? You're approved. Just as a footnote, though, I think I've got something on my coffee table, and Dick, you've probably got it too, but I think Project 180 put a book together of trees and shrubs and species that I think they did quite a bit of research on. It's a pretty extensive bit of information. You might want to get a hold of that and take a look at it, because, I mean, we all know Oklahoma's harsh, and there's some things that will grow and won't grow, and I suspect we've all paid a lot of money for things that won't grow. So anyway, I don't know where that is. Scotty, do you know where that is? Do you have a copy of that?
I'm sure it's available through the website, and those probably reflect some of the same materials that we have in the trees and shrubs, because that came out after the Project 180 was in place. But we can make sure it's available to you or to the client.
Didn't we get kind of a spiral-bound?
There was a
I might have a
downtown,
couple of those.
there was a downtown master plan that went through. It has a red cover. Yeah,
Oh,
that's the downtown
No, that's
master,
not what I found.
downtown streetscape master plan.
Thank you.
We
Thank you.
still have item 1 on the table that needs to have some kind of action taken, please.
What's that?
Item 1, the signage.
Oh. Oh, I'm back, okay. Can I go ahead and do a continuance even though? Okay. So you got a motion?
Motion to continue case item number 1 to the April 17th meeting.
Okay. It's the Ike Dick motion. All in favor? Any opposed? So we'll see you back. We said 30 days for that one or 60 days?
It'll be the next meeting, so it'll be 30 days, but if you need more time, just let us know in the next week or so that we can pull it from the agenda for next month.
Okay. Anything, that's it for our cases for individual consideration. We have no other business. We have communications from the administrative approval report. Anything big?
Not
Anything we're
really.
going to notice?
No. You'll start seeing a lot of large temporary banner signs pretty soon.
Uh-huh.
You're seeing a few of them now.
So Mode Development took out their windows on
They
the
took
street?
out one window on the front. They had two windows, a pair of windows side by side over the sink. Because of their structural requirements, they had to take out one of those. So they still have a window, but they don't have two side by side.
Okay. Looks like you were busy with the administrative approvals.
Yes, worked my fingers to the bone. Northwest 4th Street, 605 Northwest 4th Street, you might keep an eye on that. That's kind of a neat project that's going forward. It was a pretty pitiful-looking building that had some old siding that was dilapidated, and they're going to replace that with some architectural metal panels and then put in some alternate entrances on the side, kind of make it look really nice.
Okay, cool. Any other comments from the planning staff?
I have a question.
Okay.
It was in the paper, so I guess it's public record. Have we seen the deal about this food court park thing they're talking about?
It will be coming to you next month. We've been working with them a little bit.
Is this Richard McCowan's deal?
No,
No,
it's up there in Midtown.
Wheat.
They're talking about doing a restaurant, live entertainment. It was in the paper this morning.
I didn't see it.
And do these food trucks that come in and
Oh,
It's mostly picnic tables with food trucks. They may have a short stage for occasional live music there and restrooms.
where's
It's
it
kind of
located?
like a food court on the corner of 10th and Harvey. You know, where the two big billboards are, right next to the big pile of sand.
That's the feature.
Yeah.
So we'll be hearing that?
That should be on, if we can get it together between now and then, it will be there on the next docket, along with your signage.
So what else? Is that it on that docket?
That's about it. We have one more, but I can't remember what it was. Oh, no, that was not going anymore. They're going to do that administratively. Yeah, so just those two. We're hoping we get an appointment soon for the missing chair.
So, and congratulations goes out to Scotty for having her CNU accreditation.
Oh,
And me too.
yeah, and Betsy.
Anyway, that's a very, very fun thing, and it really kind of enlightens you a little bit further about why we are doing what we're doing. CNU stands for Congress of New Urbanism. I barely passed. She got the top grade. What can I say? But anyway, one of the things that I just discovered I am now, if you guys have heard of Urban Land Institute, and the city is offering that at a much reduced rate since you are a member of a board, a city board. And so I just went through the process, and it's great. $100, you can be a member of ULI, and
Yeah.
you just tell them to do it.
We'll be sending out an email later in the month, and Teresa Smith will be here next month to discuss it with you, to give you some more information.
Well, yeah, you guys may already be members, but...
Yeah.
But we'll check it.
Yeah.
Leslie Batchelor is no longer the president. Blair Humphreys is the current president.
Looks like he doesn't go very often.
Well, his year is almost up. I don't know.
Yeah. But Betsy, Teresa will be here next month to talk to us some more about the ULI.
Yeah, it was
And we'll be
amazingly
sending-
easy to do,
Yeah.
and it cost $100. It's a pretty good deal. So, anyway,
I think we're getting to the point in the city where you have to have that be a part of it.
it's a nonpartisan, really no skin in the game, just talking about good planning practices, and I love it. So, anyway, when Teresa comes to talk about it, we'll...
Yeah. There'll be-
Can we ask who's on the interview committee for the new planning, director of planning? Excellent.
Not me.
This is completely off the subject, and it's probably not in our purview, but I have a question. Who is supposed to maintain the new streetscapes? I mean, I'm on on the bid board, and I know at some point that's going to get passed over, but the maintenance in these tree wells and the plantings and whatever, we can grow cigarette butts, but I'm not sure we're growing anything else. Who do we ask to help us do that? I mean, like on Hudson, which is right in
Yeah,
front
I
of City
think the
Hall.
Streets Department and the Parks
No,
Department.
it's not Jane yet.
She's getting all our money.
Well, it's not for that. The city's still responsible for that,
Yeah,
I
I
think.
think it is the city, and I'll pass that on. I think our Parks Department does, either that or the Streets Department. And right now, their Parks Department is kind of in limbo. They don't have a director right now.
Such a mess coming out of the park.
On what? Park?
Up there. We moved in 3 weeks ago to City Place, around 6 in the morning. Lovely. Sand Ridge. Man, it's great. And it cost you a lot. Oh, yeah. What the hell? My wife wanted to know what the budget was. She's real happy. She wanted to know what the budget was. I said, that's the last house we're going to build in Oklahoma City. There's no budget. She went over the no budget.
I want to have a party there.
Let me tell you, as soon as we unpack and get some furniture,
And Leslie and Cliff are moving in too. Did you know that? Yeah. Exciting. Okay. Anyway, anything else?
I think that's it.
We are adjourned. Meeting is
great to see y'all. Everyone looks happy.
April 17th.
Warm out.